Are you ready? Are you ready?
I mean,
all right. Yo, welcome to the NERDSoul Podcast. We're chilling. It has been a while. I haven't seen these sunshiny faces in so long. Of course, I am not only, joined by some wonderful folks, but we got some wonderful things to talk about. So, to my left, to the left of the isosceles triangle, the amazing voiceless Alexis Torres.
What up, everyone?
Oh boy, I hope we got that.
I don't even know that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
What up, everyone? I apologize that my voice is probably going to be a little bit down here, a little bit of a Barry White going on, just a bit. But that's how you know Mama had a good time at the Expo. That's all I'm going to say.
Mama's having a good time.
All right, cool. And right on the other angle of the isosceles triangle,
It me. Hi, I'm the internet's Mark B. Donica. I undercut you. Really quickly, just a technical note. It's gonna reach about 100 and change, so we gotta have the air on.
Okay.
So if you're hearing a little bit of that in the background, we apologize,
No,
but we want to live.
yeah, it's hot.
So we're gonna live. You're fine.
Okay.
I attuned it to wherever you were talking.
I was like, oh no.
No, you're fine. I'm. It's similarly to you, Michael. AX comes around 4th of July weekend
Once a year.
Well, yes, but similarly to you come around once a year. No,
Yes.
Because AX is July. It's really difficult to plan any sort of time around it, just because of the holiday, etc., etc. So, I'm really happy that we get to we've been surprisingly been talking about. I say surprisingly, talking about anime a lot on the show. We had the whole episode where you made us go an extra 45 minutes because you brought up anime and 5 anime shows to watch. But we're going to be getting so much into the weeds. Bless you. So much into the weeds today. And I'm excited to cover for my friend Alexis.
Woohoo!
She walking around.
Sorry.
So,
being a good host.
I tried.
I guess, you had Anime Expo. I didn't get to go, but
Yeah.
Alexis Torres got to go. And I just want to know about, before we get into any news stuff, what was your experience? Because you told us there was tons of stuff going on, cool stuff. Very, very
Family
fun.
friendly, not so family friendly.
I mean, but I like
We'll
that about.
save the not family friendly till later. That's
Well,
good
I mean,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, I can also be very clean about it, so it's okay. Again, I apologize if my voice goes in and out. So, Anime Expo was great. I only got to go for 2 days, but I was with a crew that's there, the entire weekend. They went on, Thursday, and then continued. They're still there today, I believe. But it was actually a lot of fun. There wasn't a lot of people on Friday, but also made sense because it was the hottest day of the week. And if there was a lot of people, they were usually sitting down a lot or kind of like, in the cafeteria areas and things like that. So, it was just wonderful. I haven't been to an anime expo in like 3 years, so I don't remember how things worked. So I'm really glad I went with some. Yeah, no, it's huge. I think I was well, maybe not 3 years, maybe even longer than that. But I used to volunteer for Anime Expo when I was younger, and then this is my first time going as a professional. So being press really helped with a lot of things. And I'm not saying that it was bad. Yeah. I mean, I think the one thing that I really loved about Anime Expo when it came to being a professional is that there was different hallways for you to take. So you didn't have to be in the general sea of people. So you'd go up an escalator or some stairs, and you take a hallway that's above everyone and go above them, and then go back down and then enjoy. So there was the exhibit hall, which had all the stuff in there. So obviously Funimation, Crunchyroll, Aniplex, all the big major hitters up top, and then down below you had, because it was at the LA Convention Center, there's 2 floors.
Yeah.
And the bottom floor was Artist Alley. The entire Artist Alley was down below.
Wow.
So you didn't have to worry about going on to the sides to find where our Artist Alley has been split up into 2, WonderCon is, where it's at the very, very ends. You can just go downstairs. I will say though, if you are going today and you're listening to this, Artist Alley is a train wreck down there because it's so packed with so many people, and all the booths are very close together. So if you want to buy stuff, you're waddling your way through and kind of
That's rough.
Good deals though. Especially Sunday.
Well, yeah,
because there'll be a lot of people that are they just don't want to.
They want to get rid of They just want to get rid of it because they don't want to bring it back with them. So I totally understand that. There's a lot of great. I mean, that's probably where I would always suggest people, if you want to buy posters, merch, or anything like that, I would suggest going down to Artist Alley just because it's a little cheaper. And it's a little bit more unique. But if you're not into that, you want something that's very, generic and like to the point, like, go up to the exhibit hall because they have a bunch of stuff there, especially if you want like specific shirts or things like that. But I love going down to Artist Alley, one, to help people since they are independent artists, but at the same time I get cool shirts or cool posters or things like that that are a little bit more
see anywhere?
Yeah, that you're not going to see anywhere else. I mean, upstairs obviously you can go to the Funimation booth and get like the usual stuff, and that's what you want. Like, I'm not going to get mad about that, and there are other booths that sell like regular posters that are like, anywhere between like $15 to $30, $40 depending on how big the poster is. So so I feel like if you want something that's like one of a kind, go down to Artist Alley. That's probably the best place for you to go. If you want something just to grab stuff that seems like it's like right around where you want to be or from that specific company, stay in the exhibit hall. The one thing I didn't know about Anime Expo was all the stuff outside the convention. So there was a lot of different events. So Funimation had an obstacle course area that was themed.
Wow. What was the theme to?
Pretty much different stuff that they had. So they had an Attack on Titan rock climbing or wall climbing, wall. They had a My Hero like bouncy thing where you have to like jump and like do your quirks and stuff. Which is not obviously doing quirks. You're just going through an obstacle course that's a bouncy house. They had a One Piece area where they had all the different characters. You get to take pictures with them. Yeah. There was a lot of One Piece stuff going on. Oh my god, it was crazy.
It's my favorite.
He loves One Piece. So so you get to take pictures with all the characters because they have the like full body size.
My family.
Ooh.
Yeah. But the thing is, you don't want to go on a bouncy house that's been sitting in 114 degree heat.
Oh.
And the funny thing is, Funimation was giving away snow cones in the day, but then they charged at night. It was weird. So it wasn't a big deal, but I was like, $6 for a snow cone, Funimation. And it's like,
Funimation,
it's like
tripping,
big.
son.
It was like really tiny. And I was like, I don't want to pay $6 for that. Like, also it's hot as crap out of here. Like, how dare you?
That's probably why they're giving them out for free.
Yeah, earlier in the day, I think. And then they were like, oh, it's like 4 o'clock now, $5. And I'm like, no. But anyway.
Sun's going down, prices going up.
Kind of like that. But I mean, I could be wrong. I just know that's what they were saying earlier, that they were giving out snow cones. Then all of a sudden, when we actually got in line, they were like, "Oh, $5, please," and we're like, "Oh, no."
Get out.
So that was really cool. That it was in front of the Staples Center, so it's like right where LA Live is, where they kind of like blocked off that usual like dancey little area that they have with the projectors. So they just set that up and blocked it off. And then if you go a little bit past that, Lucky Strike and Novo, which is like right next to each other during LA Live, they emptied those out and did like some sort of themed thing. So
cool. So they had some off-site stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy. And there's actually one in a hotel too that was across the way as well.
God, that's too much walking in this heat.
That's what I'm saying. That was the one thing that like I think that's why I got sick, was the fact of going from the exhibit hall, which is like maybe like it's still AC. It's cold enough. It's like, is it 78 AC wise in there, and then you go out into 114 degree weather, then back into an AC blasting room, and then back out into 114 degree weather, and so it was just a lot of back and forth. So there was a lot of walking. I think I felt bad for mostly the cosplayers more than anything.
Oh sure.
Because the fact that they're in full armor, full gear, and they're walking around in this heat, especially because the fact that they want to take pictures, and the best place to take pictures is outside because you're away from the general public. So luckily, a lot of people had umbrellas, and like Anime Expo was giving out free water for the entire day.
Good.
So that was really, really nice. Cool. It was really crazy because if you know how LA works, which I know you two do, Staples Center is usually a big place for people to sell bacon wrap hot dogs, water, soda, Gatorade. So there's a lot of vendors sitting right at the entrance.
Were there any people calling the police on them, or was it okay?
Nope. I mean, the police were there though. Like they were at Anime Expo. Security was super high there, which was great. And there was different sections and things like that. Obviously, they had the priority line, which is like press, media, exhibitors, things like that on that side, so you didn't have to wait in line with the rest of the general public. But then you had the general public, you had to do a bag check every time you entered. It didn't matter what side you were on.
Makes sense.
Which was great. You still had to do the badge tap, but not when you got into the doors. So it was only one time. Because you know how WonderCon, where you had to like walk in and then you had to show your badge again when you walk through the doors into the actual exhibit hall? No, it was just the entrance. So it was only when you entered. Then if you were in the building, you were fine. But then I think my favorite hall was the entertainment hall, which is at the very, very end of LA Convention Center. This is where Blizzard and where you saw that Overwatch thing that I did.
Yeah.
So this is where all the entertainment stuff is. So you would do more interactive stuff. So like VR, get to see more video game stuff. And then they have that one section where you get to take all the pictures because it's a bunch of props. Little mini sets that they made.
Okay.
So they have like
That's
a classroom, the Japanese garden.
Oh, that's right.
Like,
I've seen those. Yeah.
So that if cosplayers want to take like professional cute photos with a set, you have that, and that's away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So like you would have to get in line to get into that entertainment hall, and you can do all these really cool, fun, interactive things. So there was a lot to do. It was more along the lines of knowing where everything was. So if you've never been to a con before, that was probably very confusing for you.
So they do they have like a website or something where
yes,
they have
they had an app.
Oh, okay, cool.
So if you use the Anime Expo app, it has the entire schedule on there. It tells you exactly which hall to go to, and you can just ask somebody because there was so many people that had staff there that was helpful.
Did they add off-sites on that or no?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
No,
cool.
everything. Anything that's going on with the expo, whether it's on-site or off, it's on the schedule. It'll tell you exactly.
Because now I know there's some cons, it's like they don't.
No, you're right.
They don't advertise that stuff.
No, I think that was the one time where I was really excited.
They're not official, so we're not going to
No.
advertise.
I think
you gotta just like find out on like Twitter or Facebook or something.
I mean, the good thing was a lot of different event things you had to schedule for it ahead of time anyway.
Cool.
So if you didn't know where it was or didn't remember, that was on you because you technically signed up for it. So yeah. Yeah, and every time that we signed up for something before we got there, it was usually through something that had to do with Google, so it would immediately save into your Google Calendar.
Okay,
cool.
So I thought that was really, really nice.
That's
so
smart.
Everything that I mean, even today, like I have all my notifications going because they're like, "Hey, you have a thing," and I was like, "I'm not going there."
Nah, don't worry about that. What was your favorite thing that you got to see, play, experience? Like, what was the top? Or one of the top things.
Can I take a top 3?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
I think my top 3 favorite things that we did. The first one was definitely the Crunchyroll HQ, which we did a live tour of. Crunchyroll HQ took over the Novo. Was it Novo? The Novo
nightclub?
space. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Novo.
The Novo space where when you walk in, they had like a little mini stage and a little table set up for people who wanted to do like mini panels and stuff like that. But they also had a My Hero Academia host club.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah. So if you don't know what a host club is, for people who probably have never heard of it, it's pretty much like a maid or butler kind of cafe, kind of, where, you go in and it's kind of like you go to a cafe, but you have someone who's dressed in a character, which all of them were there. Mostly just the students, not the teachers. So no All Might, nothing like that.
No daddies.
No daddies, no. Just the students. But it was really cool because they were in character and full uniform.
Cosplay?
Yeah, no. Not like their hero cosplays, but like school uniform.
Okay.
So it was very classy.
That's cute.
Yeah. Oh, it was adorable. So
stay classy, My Hero.
Yeah, no,
stay
for
classy.
real. So yeah, you walk in and they had this really great big glass mural of like all the characters, and it says My Hero Host Club on it. You open the door. I can't remember the character's name. The one with the things in his calves.
Ida?
Yeah. He was the one, of course, that would greet you.
Of course
which makes
he was.
sense.
He's a class
and he was like,
president.
hello, welcome. And he would walk you in. You guys would find your seats. They would come over, bring candy, snacks. They'd sit and play games with you and things. It was beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah, it was super dope. And I was just like, so they only did it for 2 days, which I think their last day was Friday. Mm-hmm. So they did it since I think it was just Thursday and Friday. Yeah, which is fine.
The non-busy days.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of strange, but I feel like they couldn't do
smart.
Yeah, which
they
I thought
couldn't do it right.
Yeah, they were like, we didn't want to overdo it, so they did enough, which was fine. And then they had a section on the other side of the host club, which had a lot of video games that you can play. Which that's where I got to play the My Hero game.
So jealous.
I know.
October.
I know. It was the controls are a little strange.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that the sidekicks don't switch out.
They just help.
Yeah, I had no idea, so I was very confused. I'm like, why can't I use my other character? Oh, okay. But it was beautiful. The physics are great. It's just, I can't wait for you to play it when it comes out. Yeah, I thought Katie was going to destroy the controller because she was just like, ah! Like, it was just insane. Well, because there's button mash moments where they're like, you have to hit X a bunch of times in square, and you have to do it before the next person. So we were like screaming. It was crazy.
Ways to do it.
I know. But it was more of also, that's what happens when you go to a press, not press, but a media VIP lounge, which also has free booze. You know, I feel like people are just going to be like with it. So,
thank you for that. We really appreciate. Shout out to our listeners for that sweet clapping.
Sorry. That was really loud.
Hope you're not wearing headphones.
I love you.
I hope you are wearing headphones.
Anyway,
that'll learn you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, so that's why I tried to do it down here. But yeah, on the other side they had that, but they also had the Wii as well for like the little kids, and pretty much they had like, you know, free water, juice, things like that. So I thought that was really, really cool to do the host club because I didn't think about that. I mean, it comes up a lot in anime, but I would never think that an actual place would do it.
Well,
at
especially
Anime Expo.
here.
Yeah, because I feel like some people would be like, I don't know what that is, you know?
Exactly, Michael.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know doesn't mean I wouldn't think it's cool.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people wouldn't sign up for it because they don't know what it is.
What I'm saying is you need to watch Ouran High School Host Club, which should still be on Netflix. I'll double check on that.
Yeah.
So that way you'll know
probably
exactly
is
what
we're
Host
talking
Club
about.
is.
You know what? If that's the case, send me the link. I shall. I may have time this evening.
This is going to be a hell of a ride for him.
Yeah, I know, right?
God, it's the best.
Like, watch one episode, it's like, I've got to watch them
hooked,
all.
You'll be hooked before the end.
Yeah, for sure.
See, I hate that because it's like, got to go to work tomorrow, but it's like 3 episodes left. Let's go in and do this.
Well, because it's on Netflix, you can download it on your phone and watch it on the go.
Ooh.
Not in your car. Don't watch
not
it.
In your, yeah, don't,
or in
don't do that.
a very small window on your desktop at work. I do not suggest that, but you can do that.
Mm-hmm. But they also had a bunch of free stuff too, like little things on each table. They had like slap bracelets and like car fresheners that were all themed to like different stuff, My Hero stuff, and all the different animes that Crunchyroll is obviously trying to put out there. Yeah. And they had anime playing in every screen that was in Novo. The second thing that I loved the most was I was telling you guys earlier. It's called Myth. It was a burlesque magic show, but because the fact that they're it's what it says is Myth, burlesque and magic show. Like, that's literally what it says on the poster. I got an invitation through email that was like, hey, we're doing this thing, and I was like, wait, burlesque and magic? That's anime themed? Sign me up! Oh my god. So we went, and of course the person I went with was just Carrie Lane. She actually knows a few of the dancers there, so they've done other shows before with different themes. So I guess that's what they try to do, is they try to bring nerdiness into whatever their environment is and incorporate it into the show. So like there was a magician who dressed up as Rick and did like a magic show. It was a little awkward because I feel like a lot of people didn't understand who Rick and Morty was. So he was like trying too hard. Well, there was a lot of adults in the thing, but because you have to be 18 and over to be obviously going to the show. But at the same time, there was a lot of people who might have been just anime fans, or some people that have never been to a show like this, so they weren't ready for it. So of course you knew who the fans were because you heard them screaming random lines from Rick and Morty, but it was like a small group of people. So
that wasn't the breast part of the show, was it?
My
God. Yes.
Can we cut his mic out? Can we just unplug it? Yeah, just turn him all the way down. How dare you? Anyway,
but they're gonna be flying fast and smart and very strong. His face.
Our quote producer.
That's sad because Neil's the pun king around here, so the fact that he told you to get out is saying something.
Oh man, it's cold.
Yeah, and it's not that easy to get under Neil's skin.
Get out. Get out.
I got that. That's why I smiled. I was like,
oh, he didn't hear you.
I think I would have liked mine better.
Yeah, he would have.
I don't know.
We'll talk about this later.
Yeah,
anyway, oh, good heavens. So we were like smack dab in the middle.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
I mean, yeah, we were smack dab in the middle of all the boobs. No, but we were right. We were the only media covering the event, and I felt kind of bad. But at the same time, the show is awesome. So like we had, again, it's 18 and over. So
holla at NERDSoul if you ever need me. I will do it for the good of the show.
Yeah,
because
you
guys need promotion. See, I'm just doing it to help.
No,
I'm
you
doing
should.
it to help out.
I I recommend it to everyone.
Transparent ass.
For sure. I mean, yeah. Correct. But no, I suggest this show to anyone who's obviously over the age of 18, because it was just a really fun
and really
environment.
likes magic.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, and everything was very not interactive, but the fact that they tried to pull as much like audience interaction as much as they could, because we had a comedian in the beginning who was just trying to, warm up the crowd and do all that kind of stuff. They have a theme where there's a chair, because they've been doing the show for quite some time, and if you've been going to every show, they have a theme where there's a chair. His name is Steve, and he steals the show a lot. So they'll randomly put him out there, and the actors or the people who are part of the cast and crew will be like, I hate this guy. He's such an asshole. And they're talking about him, but they're talking about a chair. Like, it's just a chair, but it's like an ongoing theme. So people who've gone to the show, you'll hear them, they'll hear them randomly yell out, Steve, bring Steve back. Like, they treat him like he's a person. And the cast will be like, no, I'm not bringing him out. He hasn't paid me back for my lunch or something like that. Like, it's an ongoing joke. So it was really cool. Like, the women are like, oh, yeah, Steve and I had a really great time last night or something. Or, like, if they sit down on him, they're like, okay, guys, I swear, this is not public indecency. We're just sitting and just chatting, like that kind of thing. Like, it's an ongoing joke. So I thought that was really, really cool. But, like, there was two hosts. There was a guy who runs the entire thing, and then there was a woman who's dressed as Tomb Raider, who was, like, helping out and doing all this kind of stuff. But there was an array of different stuff. There was different types of magic acts. There was a bunch of different burlesque shows that were themed to anime. There was a Death Note burlesque performance. There was a Let It Go Frozen one. There was a Godzilla one, which I thought was very interesting, which I was like, of course the girl from Japan would pick that.
Terrifying.
And it was just really, really cool. It was a really fun experience. It was in a theater, and it was just so cool to just sit there for like 2 hours and just watch this really ridiculous show happen. We got to interview the cast after, so if you want to check that out on AfterBuzz TV Anime, like there's a bunch of interviews of all the different casts and stuff. Oh, the Library Bards were there.
Yeah, I bet they were.
Yeah, Library Bards is
Xander was one of the hosts on the regular stream, so I figured
they would be there. I didn't think they would be. I thought he was just going to be doing interviews all day.
Yeah.
Library Bards, if you don't know who they are, they're a parody band that do parody songs off of nerdy movies and TV shows. Oh, okay. So they take the top 40 hits and change them into nerdy songs.
Like Mr. Whiteside by the Killers gets turned into a song about the Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really good.
Yeah, so the songs that they did is they did a X's and O's, which is the name of the song, but they changed it to Pin and Foe. Finn
and Poe.
Yeah, Finn and Poe, because the shipping thing.
Ah.
So they talked about that. Oh, the song was hilarious. And then
They're great. They're amazing.
Yeah, if you don't know who they are, you should definitely look them up on iTunes. They're awesome. Like, Library Bards,
cool.
I've been wanting to see them live forever, so I'm really glad I got to catch them on this show. But anyway, and then my top one, which is something that's probably not exciting at all to anyone, but it was exciting to me because the fact that as a person who's been walking around for hours, it was great. Michelle, who has done a bunch of stuff for Popcorn Talk, but now she's doing stuff on Hyper RPG. I don't know her last name, but she goes by I am Chubby,
Chubby Bunny.
Yeah. She got to be part of this really cool event that she put together. It's called Relax with Rilakuma, which is this teddy bear, that means relax with bear in Japanese. It was an event where you can go to at a hotel where it's just a lounge space. That's it. They gave you water, coffee, tea, soda, and there's just bean bags and couches everywhere. They had massages, like actual deep tissue massages in the corner where you can schedule to come back later or do whatever. There's like 2 masseuses that sit there and they just work on you for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You can take pictures with Rilakuma. That's where I got this fan from that says Rilakuma on it. They had music, really plinkety plunkety music playing in the background.
Plinkety plunkety.
Yeah, and then it was just dark. It was dim back there. And that was it. If you got there, you would schedule it, ahead of time, and you'd stay there for an hour. It's AC, so you get to sit there, have some cookies or some treats, have some water, take a nap if you have time, to do that, and then leave. And they'll be like, hey, if this is your wristband, if it's this color, your time is up. Please exit out there. But that was it. No one's ever done that before, according to her when she told me about it. It doesn't sound like someone has ever done anything like that before.
For the public, no. Like, there's usually, I mean, not massages, but usually, like, press space. They usually try to take care of people as much as possible.
No, but this is for the general public. They sent out, invitations, like, I think, like, 2 weeks before Anime Expo, and so they had time to do that. But they also had standby, so if you didn't know about it but wanted to do it, they would give you a standby line to put people through. But they didn't allow too many people at a time so that there was enough space for people so it didn't feel crowded. But yeah, I mean, Carrie and I got to go because Michelle invited us, specifically, and we got to go there, and we just found, and the beanbag is like the size of this couch, like it's huge.
That's large.
And we were able to fit like 2 or 3 people on it, and we just laid there for like an hour, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so nice. And then someone would come around, cookie, water.
Could I interest you in a cookie?
And I was like, oh my god.
Can you follow me around like all weekend,
It was
please?
the moment where I sat there, and we were there from like 1 to 3, which is the hottest time to be at. So we were just like, yeah, we ain't going nowhere. But there was someone who actually got into the bear costume and took little pictures, and he would move and stuff. It was super adorable. And it was just a really good time. And then when you left, they gave you a little Rilakuma surprise box, which I'm holding. You can't see it, listeners, but I'll be posting a bunch of pictures.
I love audio podcasts.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to be posting a picture of all the swag that I got, but they give you this. They give you a cup of ramen and some other stuff. And
it's a softy boy, not a hard plastic boy.
No. It's like a plushie. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then they gave you a fan, which they knew that it was going to be hot out, so I have like a little plastic fan.
It was like
it was
Friday was oppressive, yo.
Yeah, it was the hottest day of the year so far. It was crazy. But yeah, so they did that, and then you left, and you got to take whatever, treats that you got. So if you wanted to bring water bottles with you, just take them with you, cookies, whatever the hell you wanted.
Killer. I would have been like, cookie, don't mind if I do.
And they were like,
I'll take the
soft
box.
Yeah, right.
Can I get all 12 of those,
but
please?
but yeah, like it was the soft, like freshly baked, crumbly, awesome cookies.
How dare!
And they were like huge. They were like this big. So like when they were like, "Would you like a cookie?" I was like, "Can I have 2?"
Oh,
sure.
heavens.
And I was like,
of course.
It was great.
Are you gonna circle around and come back with these?
And then you didn't have to like figure out where to put your plate after. Like someone would come around, clean up after you. Ooh. And the thing is, like they had like fresh squeezed juice too, so you wouldn't have it like in a cup, like a plastic cup. It would be like in a glass. I got like ginger ale that was also in like a glass bottle. I was like, this is insane, but it was perfect. Like it was just enough. Like you didn't have to be there for 3 hours. You didn't have to be there for like 45 minutes. Like you had an hour to do whatever you need to do, recollect. A lot of people who were in cosplay were just like, yes, and just like relax. It was wonderful. If you have kids, this is the perfect place to do that, so that kids can just chill out, maybe take their hour nap then and there, schedule it, and you couldn't bring outside food with you, which makes sense. Yeah. But like, they were just like, yeah, don't worry about it, just relax. And there was a bar area outside of it, so if you wanted to get a drink there and then go back in, you could. Okay. So there was
you had the wristband, so you could. You
have your hour. So, but as soon as you're like, okay, your hour is up and you're like fully leaving, like they put a little X on it so you can't like come back later. Yeah. So and they're all different colors for different hours, so that you knew exactly which one. So there would be like maybe like one blue, one pink, and one purple. And they would be like, okay, all pink wristbands, please leave, and then that means that you still have a little bit of time left. So yeah, it was nice. It was definitely one of my highlights for sure. It was one of the coolest events that I've never seen at a convention before. At least not for the general public.
So metal.
Yeah.
Dude.
Conventions can learn from that.
I think it's really nice, and I think they are traveling. They're going to do New York Comic Con next. So, yeah.
Sorry, I just saw Mamegoma.
Yeah.
Mamegoma's adorable. It's a little baby seal. Look at this guy. Mm-hmm. I was just staring at Alexis' fan.
Oh, yeah, it's adorable.
Afro-Ken.
Yeah. So, yeah, and you can ask questions about all the different stuff. But, yeah, so it was really cool. They had a bunch of, like, big pillows of Rilakuma and all the little chick and all this kind of stuff. So you were able to, like, cuddle with them while you were sleeping. Yeah. Futons and couches. It was great. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. But like I said, I also think all the booths were like next level as well during Anime Expo. Yeah. And again, because it was all ages, obviously 18 and plus was very closed off.
I bet. How big was the 18 and plus section?
The size of this apartment?
Okay, so it's probably how many booths? Can you remember offhand?
1, 2, 3,
like
4,
6?
5. Yeah, 6. Yeah. Probably 6. Yeah. Because there was a really big booth at the back. I have a story though.
I'm surprised it was only 6 booths.
Well, it's an all ages event.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, if they have their section, they can.
I mean, there wasn't.
Well, you don't want to overplay it.
Exactly.
I guess. Yeah.
I think it's funny because it was right next to the Rooster Teeth booth.
I'm not
like,
surprised.
Rooster Teeth booth is like right there, and then there was just a closed section next to it, and it was the entire 18 and over.
Hot.
That was so funny because you can hear like Miles and everybody like doing like funny like because the signing was right there, but then you also see like people coming in that are kind of like ashamed to like I mean, not to say that, because I think you shouldn't feel ashamed if you want to go in there, because there was actually a lot of cool stuff in there.
people know what's
but
in there.
They understand, like when you walk through a thing that's completely gated off, you're like,
you up
but
in
there was
there looking
other
at
18
tentacles.
and over booths like throughout the thing, but they were obviously closed off.
Yeah.
That you couldn't like tell like what it was. You just know like, oh, that's clearly an 18 and over booth because it's got
it was
curtains.
the red light district was specifically in this one area.
Yeah. But like I thought it was dope because as a person who's gone to expos before where they have those kind of like posters or the pillows and stuff like that, they usually put like Post-it notes over all the bits.
Yep.
So it was really crazy and kind of surreal walking into a thing that had everything exposed. And I was like, whoa. Wow, this is...
I know where I'm staying for the rest of the year.
Right? I was like, oh, this is cool. And it was funny because I knew there was an 18 and over section. I didn't know where it was. So when Carrie and I
They got to keep it on the low.
Kind of. I mean, no, that's not kind of what happened, because we were in the press lounge, getting all of our gear in order, taking a break, and a lady was coming up and going, hey, I heard you guys were talking about that anime where they fight with their butts in their chest.
Keijo.
Thank you. And she was like, hey, I don't know if you guys... I love that anime, by the way.
I haven't seen it. I've only heard about it.
I mean,
I've heard about it, and I was just like, I'm cool.
They're extremely fan service. That's exactly what it's made for, and that's fine. I'm very happy. The animation's great. Not because of what they're doing, but I meant like it's still a sports anime, so there's a lot of cool things that come with it.
The rules and moves and all of that. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway. Y'all know what I'm about.
Talking about these honeys.
Yeah. So she came over and she was talking about, I think it's on the back of my phone.
Coming out with a new anime next year. It's called Sword Fight.
Little cute little stickers.
That's it. Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's me.
That's cool.
It's me with pink hair.
A pink-haired cat headphone.
I took a picture of it, and this is lewd. Yeah. We
Lewd.
took pictures of all the different stickers that they gave us, which I think are in here. I think I have the shirt in here too. She came over and she was like, oh, I don't know if you guys are like into that. We're like, yeah, we're totally fine with that. We might not be able to film everything, but we will definitely try. And they're like, yeah, we'll totally. So what they did was when we got to the booth, they framed it so you couldn't see anything. So it was just like a poster that was completely
All you see
covered.
is like a face like to the side.
Poking out.
Yeah. No. So it was like we had a poster that had the name of the company, which I have on the shirt here. It's called Nutaku.net, which is a company that hosts a bunch of different games.
Yeah, but what a piece of art that is.
Hell yeah, it is. Anyway, so I'll show you guys the shirt later. So they were telling us about like what they host and all the different games that they host and things like that. And they had a really big booth at the very, very back of the 18 and plus. We just couldn't pan and look at it because there's a lot of naked ladies on it. So we had like a little corner that had like a fully clothed person there. Yeah. We also had the booth babes come by, and they were dressed appropriately and
appropriately for a section that's
18 and over. Yeah. So there was definitely a lot of cleavage, but that was as far as it went, so that was fine. So we interviewed the booth babes, we interviewed the people who host and who run it, and the PR people and stuff like that. But the thing was, my favorite part of this interview, which I'm so glad that we had a lav mic, not an actual like big mic, because I was worried about this.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. It looks like.
Are you watching it?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I didn't know Carrie had like a stick mic, but I was like, no, it's a lav on a stick.
Because we knew that we didn't want to bring a kit.
Yeah.
Because there was no way we were going to be able to lug that around with us.
So was it cell phone and lav? That's not a bad idea.
It was great.
Not a bad idea.
It worked.
It'll work.
It worked perfectly. I mean, you do it. So I was like, yeah. She just wanted to bring the mic cube to feel more professional. Yeah. So it worked out really well. Yeah, she used a back scratcher. That's what that thing is clipped to. It's a little 3-pronged dragon claw
smart.
back scratcher that she clipped the lav to and then shoved it into the mic cube. Or the mic flag, so that it wouldn't fly. It was adorable. People were like, what the hell is... Oh my god, that's so cool. And she's like, yeah, I did that like last minute.
It's adorable.
It's adorable. It worked out really, really well. Anyway, and we fit it all into a makeup bag. In the background, I didn't realize there was a VR station for a... No, I didn't get video of it. There's a reason why. It's a VR station for a game where you can design your perfect female.
Oh, I've seen that before. Yeah, I saw an article on Kotaku about that.
It's cool, but the things that you get to do with your perfect female...
Dynamic sliders. For designing... Anyway.
We'll just let that... So we'll let that marinate in your head for a second.
You can imagine the sound that I was hearing as we were doing the interview. It was full-on penetration. Wow. So the sounds that you were getting were definitely porn. Like, straight up, like, echoing throughout. Luckily, it wasn't loud enough for it to be, like, you couldn't hear it outside of the booth. Yeah. You could definitely hear it inside the booth. And I was just like, I really hope this lav is not picking that up because it's really hard to concentrate. Alexis, because of the fact that it was... Because at one point, Carrie was like, hey, I hope you guys don't hear what's happening in the background, but if you do, we apologize. We're also in an adult area, so this is what you get. Luckily, you can't hear it. You might hear faint noises, but, like, it was...
So what you're saying is they gave you free passes to the service?
Yeah, they were like, you guys want to try? And we're like, you know, we don't have time, but I would love to do it later.
We have another appointment.
But it was interesting to me because it was my first time seeing where people are so comfortable to mimic said movements in front of people with VR on.
Oh, so you have to mimic the movement too.
It's VR, like you're moving.
Well, I didn't know if you could see the person mimicking or if they were like behind the thing.
No, there's no curtain. There's nothing hiding.
Yeah,
no, it's open.
Booth
like
demo, man.
It's a yoga mat, a plastic bust that comes from the neck to mid thigh,
and they just tan it up.
And you can just touch it, whatever the hell you want to do to it, and the VR will react to it.
Choice of words. Anyway.
Just tan it up.
Tan it.
Yeah. Straight up.
Flip it. Yeah. Smack it. Rub it
do
down.
Whatever the hell you want to. That was exactly what was happening. And I was just like, and apparently there's video.
Mark, you would have saw me like slide a curtain like, you guys, you all ain't ready for this. Like, shh.
But there is no curtain. You are in public the entire time. Like I said, it was on a yoga mat. And then the person puts the VR mask and gloves on you, and you can hold the the plastic. It looked like a mannequin, like a plastic mannequin.
Straight just killing it. All angles.
Do whatever the hell you want to it. That was the whole point, was to show that the range of this game.
The range of motion.
Mad range up in that piece.
I was like, that mocap though. But yeah, it's straight up like you can do whatever you want. And it was, and people were just like, oh, what are they doing? Oh, okay, that's what they're doing. I was just like, wow, the brass on the people doing the things. And again, I'm totally fine with that because I mean, sex should be
smooth as eggs.
Smooth as eggs.
Mark, here goes. It's like move out of the way. You don't know what you. I got this.
No, God no.
So again, I think that's really great that people
feel
that
comfortable. Man, he hitting it right.
No. I mean, yeah, you can. But the thing is, that was also the creepy things that you could see it like as it was happening. So I was kind of like, all right, this is a little far. But at the same time, you are also in a closed space.
Yeah, but a closed space of like 40 people, like walking through
at least 40 people.
No, that's too much for me, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I could display all my
that's
skills.
Why I was like, you know, I mean, I think that like, I mean, I didn't see him doing the full motions, but I was assuming because of the fact of the noises that were coming from, I couldn't see the VR person.
Thank God.
But I saw what the girl was getting, and I was like, okay.
Saw the final product, not impressed.
Yeah, correct. Pacing was awful, sir. Anyway, but I was like, hey,
that's all you got?
Yeah, I mean, it was just, but it was very educational, which I thought was very interesting. Obviously, they tell you exactly like what you're getting into, what things that you're buying, all this kind of stuff. There was a lot. There was pamphlets, brochures, things like that. It was great for what I think as sexual education is very important, what that is, and also just being open to that kind of stuff. Obviously, they're not taking it out. You can't bring kids in there. Like, it's very adult, which I think was really, really cool. Was
the pamphlet called Your Waifu and You?
I wish it was.
Okay.
But there was definitely someone walking around as a giant garbage can and had a bunch of anime women on it, and was like, your waifu is this. Or just says your waifu on it. And I was like, wow.
Trash.
You guys you'll continue.
Question, with the VR body, was it made out of that like
can we get off this damn
subject?
No,
we can't. Is it made out of that like silicone stuff they be making the butts out of, like the porn butts?
Oh, that thing that he was holding?
It's like silicone, like skinny type.
No.
It feels like skin.
No, it was plastic. Like,
oh, really?
It wasn't.
It was like a mannequin.
It was like a mannequin. It wasn't.
But,
you're not taking that with you.
No, that's not the controller.
That's not the controller.
It's just so that you have a place to put your hands.
Yeah, but you want to feel real.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
Because like the butts, you can sell like a butt. They got like butt.
If you want to feel something real, they're gonna make you pay for that.
Yes.
Like, you have to go out and go buy that. They're not going to supply that
or
for you.
you can have a healthy and loving relationship.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
saying
find
that
a
I'm
real
just saying
person.
the product. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm not going to shame them because maybe some people are just really awkward and can't find, they haven't hit that point of finding a real person just yet. They'll get there.
They'll get
maybe
there.
maybe you want to try some things out before you go live.
That's fine.
It's like practice. You know what I'm saying? You want to practice.
This man says you want to try stuff out before you go live. I don't want to do any more shows with you.
Okay, I'm just saying. Since we're in the curtain
we
area,
gotta practice.
I got this from the Crunchyroll thing. Trying to get it back to cutesy stuff right now.
I was gonna say when you were talking about the like air fresheners thing, something I would buy in a heartbeat. And you don't get this reference. Is Midoriya's face when he quotes All Might, where he's eat this and he's got like All Might's features on him.
Yeah.
If that head was a air freshener, I'll buy it
in a heartbeat. I don't care if it was if it only lasted a day, I would still have it on there.
Don't worry about it.
When did he quote him?
Season 2.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Way
He was
back
like,
then?
Do you remember what I said to you on that day? And Midoriya goes, eat this, and he.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the comedian at the burlesque show, he was like, you know what the weirdest thing about everybody? I mean, anime is great, and we all know that it's weird. But I feel like if you ever try to apply anything from anime in real life, it would just be the weirdest crap. Like,
it would be kind of strange.
And he goes, just to bring it up, because everyone's watched My Hero. I mean, that's the big thing right now. Who in their right mind would think that it's totally cool for a grown Skeletor-looking man to go, hey, you should eat this.
Eat my hair and
you'll get powers. Like, you would walk away and go, not today, demon. Like,
Not today, Satan. Yeah. Not today.
But of course in anime we're like, yeah, do it.
Not even anime.
Eat the hair, idiot.
Let's be for real. There's some people in real life right now that be like, so how much hair I got to eat?
Yeah, there are people who
just one strand, or do I have to get like a handful of that?
That just made me feel so gross. But I'm glad that you brought that up because that's what I thought of. Also, there's a Deku shirt I have to show you that I got.
Nice. I was super stoked with a lot of the news. You brought up Rooster Teeth. They've got a new show coming out in early 2019 called Genlock. It's a 3D animated robo show. So like your Gundams, your other mecha anime, Escaflones, your whatever.
Okay.
And they already announced that Michael B. Jordan's going to be playing the lead.
Which I thought was really dope.
Yeah.
Which is super dope, and his production company's behind it. But they announced at AX that Dakota Fanning is going to be the female lead. And a really well-known... Excuse me while I bring this page.
His character's name is like Jason or something.
Chase
right.
something. And then they got Koichi Yamadera as a recruit for the program from Japan, who was in Batman Ninja, Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell. So like a major
Ghost
Japanese
in the Shell,
voice.
one of the most solid franchises ever.
I mean, if you're sticking with anime, shout out to Elizabeth Maxwell. Oh, I see that. But they keep thinking that Michael B. Jordan, which is huge news. We're like, oh, cool, he's going to be our lead, and then we're going to just fill it out with a whole bunch of our folks. Yeah. They're, like, as much as Ruby was what started pushing them into mainstream attention, they're booking it. They're going for that, like...
And that's a good thing.
I'd be surprised if they weren't trying to go for TV with this thing. But,
wow.
But I think now that TV is coming to digital,
yeah.
It's something that will push their... service, their subscription that they offer. But I thought that was huge. That was huge news from them. Did you ever watch Kill la Kill?
Nah, I never watched it.
No, did you, Alexis?
Mm-hmm.
So they announced a couple months ago that there was going to be a Kill la Kill game. And they showed the first footage over the weekend, and it's called Kill la Kill If, which makes me think that it's going to be a retelling of the story, but they've changed it up so that the story makes place in the gaming sensibility. And it's a 3D arena fighter, much like a lot of the other anime games that seem to have been coming out. That looks really cool. They announced that Endeavor is the pre-order bonus for the My Hero game. Okay. Which is... I mean, I don't know who else you could put as a pre-order bonus. Endeavor being... I was about to say something that might have been a spoiler if you weren't caught up. But a terrible human being that a lot of folks don't necessarily care about, but you want that extra character. Gretzko, because Alexis just pulled that out. Yeah. Gretzko, if you haven't watched that on Netflix, so good.
Never watched it. It looks cute.
I saw so many costumes.
It looks too cute for me, though.
No, dude.
It's not really.
Do you know what it's about?
For real? Nah, I have no idea.
Do you not see this character?
Retsuko, it's about a little red. It takes place. It's a Sanrio show, so it's like Hello Kitty. It's like Backstory.
Yeah, and that's why I strayed away from it, because I was like,
I don't think he's gonna like Oran Host Club because it's too cute.
I don't know. It's funny though. It's real funny.
True.
But a Gretsuko is about this little red panda named Retsuko who works at an office and has a terrible boss, has a couple of friends at work, but gets all of her aggression out by going to karaoke and singing death metal.
Yeah, death metal. That's what that face is.
That's her karaoke face.
Yeah,
so
that's how she is in real life, and then when she rages out, that's what she looks like.
It applies to
real life?
our generation in the sense of everybody has had or has a crappy job, and everybody has ways to figure it out. This is about a young woman trying to make it in the corporate world and find love and do this and it's real. The animation is crisp and funny.
Okay.
It's a super solid show. Like, I thought it would be a little bit more kitschy than it was, but it's great. Because
when I saw it, I keep seeing it. Like, because Netflix will be like, you should watch this, and I'm like, it looks too cute.
You should.
It looks too cute.
Almost as hardcore as Castlevania, which they announced.
Because that's one thing I was super hype about.
I know some stuff
October
about 26th. It that I can't talk about. Oh,
did you see it?
Some people. No, I didn't see it. I talked to somebody who works for Funimation, and he told me a bunch of stuff that I can't talk about.
Well, just the fact, I feel bad because I only finally watched it 2 months ago.
I watched that joint super early.
Well, there was a chance that we were going to do an after show for it, but they didn't announce that it was just going to be 4 episodes. So we're like, what's the point of doing a show?
Yeah, because I reviewed it more as a movie than a show. Yeah. Kind of like I do with Voltron. It's kind of like my long movie, because it's 6 episodes, but once you put it in a half hours, it's 3 hours or something like that. So.
Yeah. And with Castlevania being 40-minute episodes, it's the story of Castlevania 3. I'm super stoked about it because that means there are some other characters that haven't shown up yet that might. And then they also announced, I'm looking for it. Where the hell is it? Damn it.
Well, while you're looking, big shouts out to my boy LeSean Thomas.
That's what I was looking for.
Cannon Busters is coming on April 1st.
March 1st.
March 1st?
Just found it, yeah.
Oh, okay, because I kept seeing April.
I kept seeing
April 1st, but LeSean said March 1st, and the news website said April, and I was like, I guess I'll say April. But yeah, he's been dope for a long time. I've been a fan of his.
Since the Boondocks.
Yeah, he's been putting in for a long time. Cannon Busters is going to be fun.
Yeah.
It is going to be my style. Just like we also heard about Ultraman, which Production IG. Production IG is doing. So that's another one that's more my style of hero type of fighting kind of stuff.
Are you a big Ultraman guy?
Sort of.
Okay.
Toys and stuff, and then the show, and then even though the show had it was cheesy from time to time, but I thought it was
Super
cool.
Sentai, man. That's what it's got to be.
But Cannon Busters, I'm super down for it because I just want him to win because he's so dope, and then also because it looks great. Anything that looks cool,
his
I'm
style
I'm down. Yeah,
is dynamite.
And he's working with people like Keon Ryu with Voltron and stuff, and no, I don't. I'm not sure if Katsuhiro Otomo is on it or not. I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
But for some reason I thought it was, but maybe not. But still, it's just going to be great. And Netflix is on the quiet side, kind of coming up.
Well, no, but one of the main,
they're slowly we've got heat.
But one of the main, I like how they're taking stuff that they're producing more stuff in-house than buying stuff that's already aired or has a regular airing schedule in Japan, waiting for it to be done and then releasing it. That was my major problem with Little Witch Academia, is that I waited for that for so goddamn long. It took them 6 months. Wow. They finished the first part of the season from in Japan. and then translated it and then got it all done. And then they released half of it as season 1, and then they waited another couple months to release half of it as season 2. And there was another one recently that was I think you all covered it on the show, the Kagagiri.
Yeah.
The school
the
gambling
one. Yo, that anime is so creepy.
Yeah, but
it's good. It's just creepy.
That's another one that had a lot of hype.
Yeah, there's so
at
much
its debut, and then Netflix said, "All right, we'll buy it, but you have to wait 6 months to watch it legally in America."
Yep.
So now, but with
because of rights issues and blah blah
Cannon
blah.
Busters,
there's so much.
There's
now.
a couple
Castlevania.
There's ones that they're producing and releasing.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. Those ones are hot and hype.
And I think the season 2 of Castlevania is going to be a lot better on the animation side, because I know there were a lot of complaints.
How much better could it be?
Well, a lot of people were saying like they were skipping frames and like it looked rushed in some places. And I was like, well, that happens from time to time. But I was like, season 2, they'll probably, those things will be worked out, because usually season 1 is the season where it's like you're kind of trying to figure out, what's the pace for procedure, for policy, for drawing, for getting it done, all that. Season 2 will probably be a much more well-oiled machine. And
well-blooded
I dug
machine.
And I definitely dug season 1, so I think season 2 is going to be slam dunk. It's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Supernatural, plus fighting and just cool stuff. I'm there.
No, that fight with Trevor and Alucard at the end was really hype. I was a really big fan of that series too.
And that he could keep up a little bit with him was cool too.
Mm-hmm. It was, you passed the test, you son of a bitch. It's spoilers, I guess. But it's been out for a long-ass time.
Yeah, it dropped last year sometime or something.
I think
like
wasn't it 2016? Like the tail end of 2016?
It might have been the very end of 2016. So, guys, it's your fault.
What was the other thing? Big news. I don't know how it's going to go, but the fact that we're getting a live action Gundam movie.
Let's talk about that for a second, because
that's
I literally
crazy.
Straight up, I pulled that up for next.
Hey, no, that was me on Cannon Busters, and now you on this.
Because I saw it and I was like, please be good. Please just blow me away with just amazing fights and just craziness.
I wonder if they'll be able to get the dynamic and the speed that Gundam has been able to capture with all of their fights, like the actual mech fights between the mobile suits, because with all of the different points of acceleration, it's like they're all charging in how to
different
get it,
areas and kind of like strafing and stuff.
How to get that in CG without making it seem too weird. I hope that they can pull it off. Did you ever see? Did either of you see Warcraft?
Yeah, I saw Warcraft.
You did? You didn't see it? That's a shame. It was because it's good.
I ended up thinking it was cool. I don't know where all the hate came from. I thought it was. I think I sat right.
Maybe
it might be. I think I set it right about like 3 stars. I was interested in seeing where it could go.
Yeah, same. And as far as I know, because of how well it did in China, we're getting another one.
Oh.
It's just not from the same director.
Oh, okay.
But we were in the theater, and as it ended, I was like, I could have seen a longer cut of this movie. Yeah,
like I was definitely into kind of like the magic aspect, because I've never played the game. Like I've known about the game, but I've never played it. So I was definitely into like just the aspect of like the magic and like the class system and how that was set up. So I was definitely like, I want to see more. I want to see more.
So, but that same studio with the studio behind Power Rangers and a whole bunch of nerd content film adaptations is going to be helming the Gundam movie. I think if I mean, not just because I work for them from time to time, but I think they can nail a look and they can get at least some, if not all, of a fan base behind it, because the fandom behind the Power Rangers movie is huge.
Yeah, if you could, with Gundam, because there's so many Gundams. There's like 18. There's not. There's like 6 different shows. But anyway,
no, there's a lot more than that.
I feel maybe.
But if they go with OG Gundam, which I think they're going to,
see if they can get it around 80 to 85% Gundam feel. Yeah, I think everybody will be on board.
But if they need to establish the colonies, they need to establish the brink of civil war. Like they need to establish a lot of things that could get muddled down.
Or are you of the mind of, instead of kind of like establishing stuff, just be like, this is the movie, this is the world they're in, you'll figure it out? Do you kind of like, how do you feel about that? Because sometimes I think movies should go that route. Just be like, look, this is the movie. Like, we're not going to start when they were like born as children. No. Like, this is the world they're in.
If they could do something where, not necessarily Tarantino-esque, but they're in the middle of it. It starts in the middle of a heated battle, and you start with a bunch of
maybe like cross discussions
colony pilots, but you're in the middle of a thing, and you can piece together where, like, that there's a conflict, that there's a here, and by the time the Gundam pilot shows up, because I don't know who they're going to go with, but by the time our hero shows up and takes care of everything, it turns into like, the year is this, and this. We've been engaged in civil war for this long. I'm a pilot for this thing of colony 934 or whatever. Like, do something like that where it's kind of wartimey, but he's in a giant mech, or they're in a giant mech, whomever.
They could, this isn't exactly the fighting style, but they could, if they couldn't nail the speed part, they could slow it down due to how large they are.
No, I don't.
Do you think that could work for it? That's not Gundam, though. Yeah, you're right.
That's like Warhammer.
Yeah, because people will be real mad about that. So yeah, I retract my previous statement because people would be very angry. Like if it moved kind of like maybe like Evangelion, where like they kind of like, you see how large they are, how much it takes to like move something that heavy. But yeah, I think that would be it wouldn't work too well.
No.
Yeah.
What Gundam series do y'all think? What is your favorite Gundam series?
I don't have one.
You don't have one? Didn't watch too much?
I didn't watch too much. I didn't have anyone that got me into mechs until I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just watched everything all at once. So a lot of Gundam was kind of all over the place. It wasn't really in order. It was more of just like my friends that were like, and he's like, oh, hey, Gundam's playing on Toonami. Let's just watch a bunch of stuff. Or it was like, hey, you haven't watched Gundam. Let's just watch like the best their version of like the best of like what they thought. So we would just watch that. So I feel bad that I don't know it like from start to finish.
Oh no, it's impossible.
But it's hard.
It's a lot because
there's so many colonies, there's so many stories, so many pilots, so many Gundams, like whatever.
I can't remember which one I like. Is there a Gundam X or something like that? No.
I know there's a mobile suit. I remember that. There's Gundam Wing. Which is
Gundam Wing was the Toonami one.
Yeah, that's the one I think I probably would say that I like the most, just because it's something I'm mostly familiar with, and I watched a lot of.
Mobile Suit was cool.
I think Mobile Suit is what they're going with for this. Okay. I think just because wasn't that the very first one?
I'm not sure. Neil loves Gundam, so he knows a lot about it. I don't know anything about it.
Now that I pull it up, you're right. There's way more than 6 Gundam series.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
I don't know why I only thought there was only like 6 or 7, but there's way more.
Dude, there's so much money in robots.
Yeah, it's insane.
There's a shield Gundam that's just a dude.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Like whatever. But yeah, one of my favorite ones that I think everybody should watch, Gundam Thunderbolt.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
okay. That one was really good.
It's 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's it. But it's
great. I don't really care. I'm like.
You
4
should.
episodes.
No, dude.
I'm like, this doesn't count as a whole series.
It's really good.
What? I mean, British series are like 3 episodes.
And that stuff kills me because I'm like, dude, this could have been like a nice little movie. Y'all could have just
it was. It's like a 3-hour movie.
It's an isolated story that probably could have been a movie. But
I will say British series have really seemed to kind of like grab onto like the mini series that the U.S. used to do like back in like the 80s.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, this is a great story. It's about 6 episodes. That's it.
That's all we got.
And I feel like we've lost the miniseries, but that's a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that, it'd be great because there's some things where it's like, yo, the first season was hot. Season 2 was lukewarm. We're like in season 6. I don't know what they're doing now.
Yeah.
So
this would have been dope as like just 2 solid seasons.
Yeah, and then leave it at that.
We got the announcement that Gundam is in development.
Yeah.
We don't know
And it's probably gonna come out.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. But remember years ago when the big announcement that Warner Brothers had bought the rights to Naruto and Bleach, and we haven't seen anything from that.
Yeah.
Which
is probably a good thing. I hate to say.
I think they could do Bleach. I think Bleach is a lot more likely than Naruto because it's about kids in high school that have magical powers, and that's kind of what Power Rangers is, and that was a success.
True.
But what franchise, new or old, current, whatever, do you think could make an amazing movie?
Live action?
Yes, live action movie. Yes,
I'm gonna go.
I would like to see a Voltron one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Could you say that up at the mic?
Oh.
I would like to see a Voltron one.
Thank you.
I'll say this because I've thought about this a lot. A Cowboy Bebop, but a prequel from when Vicious and Spike were still good.
What?
I'd like to see
them. That's not a Cowboy Bebop movie.
Yeah.
Well, but what I'm saying is, since they
that's a whole different movie.
What I'm saying is, I'm assuming Warner Brothers buys this or Disney buys this, so they start with that and then they lead into our Cowboy Bebop because I would like to see when they were good. When times, because we get flashes of when they were good. That's not how
you introduce somebody to that franchise, though.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
would just introduce them to Cowboy Bebop.
I think you start with just Spike instead of trying to introduce them to like Faye. Spike and Ein and instead of just being like, this is Spike by himself, and then that's how you bring them into the world.
No,
really.
I think if we're talking a Cowboy Bebop movie, it's got to resemble enough of the original series so that fans can be like, let me see if this sucks or not. But it's also there's so much of the world that's so cool.
Yeah.
That changing the aesthetic, let's look at our good friend Ghost in the Shell.
Oh boy!
And here we go.
But they almost tried to directly copy that joint.
They did, but that wasn't the talking point. But that was like the fact that they cast ScarJo.
Yeah,
was the
Scarlet in trouble again, but that's a whole other thing.
That's what held that story back, I think.
All right.
I think that's what held that movie back. So that's another thing with casting. That can be a diverse cast. The Cowboy Bebop cast.
Yeah,
it can be.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go peel that back and give them less people, or you could then create a crew for them if it's the prequel story. But I think that prequel story comes after. Okay, you've got to establish a world, because people are going to walk into that movie and go, "Hey, this looks like a cool space adventure," not knowing that it was an anime, not knowing this, not knowing that.
So you'll get kind of like random people that are like, "I want to see space adventure."
Yeah,
kind of like ragtag team. I want to see a
space adventure that isn't Star Wars.
Cool. So I want to see a ragtag team. Space adventure, it looks great. Mm-hmm. And then you got the fans in. Okay. It would be. See, it's weird because that's one thing. Like with Gundam, I'm like, throw them in the middle. But with Cowboy Bebop, I'm like, there's so.
Because you care much about it. You care about it.
Well, no. Everybody has so many personal stories. Mm-hmm. Like, Gundam to me seems like more of a big picture thing. Like, there's wars. So you can be more general because it's like, it's just wars going on.
Yeah.
But with Cowboy Bebop, everybody has their very specific personal story, which plays out well. But I think, I'd be down with Cowboy Bebop. I think Cowboy Bebop I'd be down with. I would say Ghost in the Shell, but we see how that's gone.
I'm pretty sure we'll get, I hope that we get more animated Ghost in the Shell movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll definitely keep going. Mm-hmm. For animated, would you guys ever be interested if we couldn't get like something like that off the ground? Were you guys ever fans of either like Appleseed, or were you fans of Outlaw Star, which is lesser
I wasn't a huge
known,
fan of it, but I knew of it.
Which is like lesser known.
That's because LS Star was just in that big first chunk of anime when we were like, what is this? Cowboy Bebop should happen before Outlaw Star.
Yeah, but
I agree.
I'm just thinking, like, if it can't, like, say if you're a studio and you're looking to buy up rights to something, You're like, I want to make something that's based on anime. Cowboy Bebop, way too expensive. But this Outlaw Star thing, it's a couple zeros cheaper.
If that was the situation,
I mean,
yeah.
And I mean, it still has its cool energy about it.
Yeah.
Or something like Appleseed, which I always thought was kind of cool. You know, you get your mechish kind of thing going on. Yeah. And you get like your cop kind of, background in, so that could be a lot of fun too. But Ghost in the Shell is going to have to cool off for a minute, unfortunately.
Yeah. If I had to choose, I act surprised as I say this. I would like to see how they handle a live action Little Witch Academia movie. I would like to see how they try. Though I remember Netflix suggested a live action movie that was a kids movie about a little girl going to an all girl magic school.
Yeah.
And I went, that probably is garbage. Yeah. because it's not the girls, man. It's not the team. But one that would work, it would probably have to be a shonen. Like the moment where right now anime adaptations are so rare that I think when we can get to a slice of life anime adaptation, that will be the moment where anime movies have succeeded, because it's not just action movies that can get a whole bunch of people because it's cool looking fights, but we can get the smaller stories, the stuff that can really hit home with people, like a Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. That would be a weird movie, but
because there's a lot of stuff in anime that's you accept because it's animated.
Yeah.
So that would be tough, because even I'm thinking about stuff that's like war or cops, something that's easier for like
American audiences to swallow.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay, it's kind of Appleseed. All right, cool, kind of RoboCop-ish kind of thing.
This is why I wanted there to be an actual good movie of The Last Airbender, because I think that would have been a really cool actual live action film,
and a great adventure too.
Yeah, and I think that I think that some of the special effects was actually really cool. It's just everything else about the movie sucked.
The airbending was cool.
Yeah.
The waterbending was cool. The fact that firebenders had to have a source of flame instead of generating it themselves.
Oh, man.
Was real stupid.
It was real stupid,
that's gonna make
but
people
I also
mad.
love anything that has to do with fire, so it was cool to watch, but I didn't like the source material that they used on that one. And then I don't even want to get into the earthbending thing. That pissed me off so
I'm surprised
much.
There's got to be people in these rooms when they're like writing and pitching and
I
stuff.
feel like they've
Someone's
never seen
like,
it before.
yo, man, that's going to make people mad. I don't know. Like, Mark's like, nope.
Just a small rock. 6 earthbenders getting a small rock to move forward.
And it was the
very
slowest.
slowly.
It wasn't like zooming past them. It was like I don't understand.
The perfect example of all of the bending forms is the first 10 seconds of the opening of the show.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is, the opening of said movie tried to do the opening of said show, and it looked awful.
Yeah. But the earthbending especially.
Oh my god, that was so ridiculous.
Get the rock up, kick it away.
Yeah.
Quick, boom, forceful moves.
But in the movie, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then tiny little slow movements.
Like the CGI company went, oh, we forgot something. Like that was the placeholder, and they just didn't.
It made me so angry.
Boy.
I will say, as much as I didn't like that movie, and we will never see the sequel.
Are they still making that?
Well, technically, they had the contract for all 3 movies, but when
they ain't making those.
The fact that Asif Manvi, well, no, it wasn't Asif Manvi. Yeah, no, he was the general.
Yeah.
But when the Fire Lord, who was just a dude, and there was no mystique or like, this is a powerful guy. He's like, nah, he's just a dude.
He's just a
I hate when they
guy.
do that in movies, man.
Yeah.
Just a regular
They just
guy.
make him the guy.
But he comes
My
out
dude.
and he's like, summon Azula. I gotta say,
I was like,
oh, like it.
Word.
That was the one thing that made me go, all right, how are they gonna do
yeah,
Azula?
same.
Let's see. All right, challenge accepted. Movie. Let me see how you do
Challenge
Azula. But that's the only thing that. But all of the pronunciations were wrong. Like it was the wrong thing. They tried to ground it in realism when it was a fantasy movie. Oh God, and so because some of those fights in animation,
and the series is so great.
yes.
That's the thing. The series is so great.
You can't turn a 20 episode season into a 2-hour movie. They tried, but some of the some of the small episodes that aren't very good have a character moment in it.
Yeah.
That make you identify more with any of Team Avatar. But if they waited a little bit, gave it another go, or if they went to Korra.
Okay.
And a
Like
different
just skip and
studio
go to
went,
Korra.
you know what? Aang didn't work. Let's go teens. Let's make it a young adult movie.
Okay.
And go season 1 with
and you get the
Amon and all that
steampunk
stuff.
in there, so you get the steampunk aspect.
Yeah. Give it a
so,
shot.
Yeah, I think that could work. There is one more piece that I
Last
almost
thing.
forgot. Godzilla, City on the Edge.
Oh, that's right. The new
yeah.
Netflix series as well.
City on the Edge battle. I'm excited. I like the first one. How did you guys feel? But were you feeling it? Were you? I guess that's a no. Already.
I haven't seen it.
I'll shrink back. Oh, okay. You haven't seen it. All right, cool.
I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. It gave me some nostalgia feels. It's okay. Godzilla is a weird topic for me. One, because I was the person that begged my dad to buy all the DVDs from Japan and all the figurines from Japan.
Wow.
And me and my brother collected them. They're all gone now, but like they weren't like super collectibles. They were like from like a cheap toy store in like Japan somewhere.
Great.
But like or
like the gachapon ones, like the little.
No, we had like full figurine ones, but there were also like really tiny ones that you got in little gachapods too. And then I think we definitely still have all the DVDs. They're somewhere. I don't know where they are, but they're definitely around. But most of the kids ruined those collectibles. Like they're like, they're like plastic. They're like you know. Actually, did you see that? I did it much later. But that's what happens. They were really little. They were like 7, 8 years old when they were watching these, and I was like a teenager. So Godzilla to me will always be some dude in some, some little suit just wrecking a tiny model of
kicking stuff over.
Man, it was my dream. And see Mothra with the giant strings.
Looking like me when I quit my job. Like
get it out of here.
Like, it's like he quitting. He was cool, but he just knocked everything on his desk over.
We got to clean that up.
Yeah.
That guy's an asshole.
And I remember watching like the behind the scenes of that, of watching people like make these tiny little models and have this big dude just like, like it was funny to me. And I think that's also
when you cut to the reaction shots, it's great because it's like people are like,
yeah, like, oh my god.
And you just
look at that awful dub.
I can imagine. Shout out to our audio listeners.
Yeah.
I can imagine a PA going, and he's crushing the building and steps on a car. And it's just a wide shot of people just getting the reaction.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's hilarious. And I love it. And even the outtakes too of them like messing up their lines and stuff. It's hilarious. But anyway, that's what I grew up with. And obviously we had that wonderful was it 90s or early 2000s?
That's a lot of fish.
I rewatched that like semi recently. I think like a couple of years ago.
You don't want to watch that.
I did. We did. We watched it. I watched it, and I was like,
laid
wow,
eggs
this
in,
movie was not as good as I thought it was when I was younger. Because I was more like happy that there was a newer Godzilla.
Yeah.
I was very confused because I was like, why does it look like a Jurassic Park
yeah.
monster? Not my usual. What?
That's not my boy.
Yeah. And the fact of like little mini gods, like little baby Godzillas running around. I was like, what? We're watching Lost World. Like that's what we're watching. Like Jurassic Park 2, Lost World. Like that's what we're watching right now.
It wasn't. Nah.
So when they said they were gonna do a new one, I was like, okay, all right, look, don't do my boy like this, please, because we already did it once, and I was very upset.
Don't mess up my boy.
So I was okay with this last one. I was still entertained. It was enough for it to be. Nostalgia to a point, especially with the roar and everything. Like, it was great. I didn't know they were making a second one, which I guess I should have, because I'm like, it made like stupid amounts of money, so good for them. I don't know. I'll probably watch it, to be completely honest.
Didn't Skull Island end with
there's supposed to be some sort of like
there was a reference to Monster Island.
Yeah.
Not
the live action, the anime one.
Yeah, the Netflix one.
The Netflix one is new, but the if you're talking about the live action,
Oh, that's what I was talking about.
No, they're making another.
Oh, an animated one.
Another anime one.
They
Sorry.
made an animated one in the 2000s. Remember?
That was based off of the
movie. Did you remember that?
I had
it wasn't good.
I had the Game Boy Color game. That was just fireball.
Yeah, fireball.
Stupid.
And also, I still bought. I don't know what year it was. Maybe it was like 2005 or 6, where they brought the Godzilla game back, where you can like fight all the different
destroy all monsters.
Yeah. Oh my god, that game! I played that game way too much for it to be healthy. It was great. But no, I remember growing up. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was like 2001 or 2002. But they had Fox had Fox Kids at that point in time, where they had all the animated stuff or all the TV shows and stuff. My mom did some sort of not press, but they did some sort of like business with them. Yeah. So she got a big like a medical book version, but it was like a purple binder of just Fox Kids stuff. There was negatives of like animation stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, of like the Godzilla thing. There was like posters, and there was also the other stuff. But they also had a CD where you got to listen to the radio station from that. So you got to listen to like NSYNC do an interview, or Backstreet Boys did an interview with that, and then they had like the Godzilla roar when they started the show. Wow. It was a crazy binder. I'm so sad that I don't know where it is anymore.
Wow.
My parents probably got rid of it, but it was like 90s, early 2000s, like nostalgia all in a binder. It was insane.
Wow, that's cool.
Because I still have one of those little, image thingies where you hit the little button and it changes the images. So I used to put the Godzilla ones in there. So that was the last time I saw. That's the last time I saw an animated Godzilla anything besides anything that was in video games.
Okay, cool. Well, Netflix has a new
put out
anime.
The series.
Cool.
And
it's supposed
so
to be a trilogy, I think.
Now they're doing. They announced season 2.
So is it not a series? It's a movie, or is it?
Well,
like
they call it seasons, but it's essentially a movie. Okay. It's like an OVA, but they call it like.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. So it's I want to say the first one is like a hour and some change, like.
Sure.
An hour and 30 minutes, maybe, something like that, but it's cool.
My animation range for stuff has really changed. I'm not as picky as I was back then. So I'll pretty much watch anything, and then I'll go, okay, it's definitely not for me. I'll stop. But, like, I mean, I watched, what is it, Miraculous Adventures of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and some people are like, that's an awful show. I like it, so I watch it.
I got a couple of friends that'll be mad about this, but I watched, like, 5 minutes of Devilman Crybaby.
Oh, my
yesterday,
God, how was that?
And I was like, nah. I was like, nah. I got like 5 minutes and I was just like, I'm cool.
Doesn't interest me. That's not the kind of devil that I'm interested in. I'm interested in a devil that works part-time at McDonald's. That's me. That's my stuff.
Yeah, I like that. But you know what I mean? Like, it's, I feel like my animation taste has dipped quite a bit, and I'm okay with that. I'm not the type of anime trash that's like, I'm very picky about everything.
I'm a lot less picky. Like, if somebody suggests me, like, oh, this is a good show, I'll go, okay, I'll watch it.
I mean, what you and I watched, what was that? That one where, like, the harem was...
Kiss Him, Not Me.
Yeah, come on.
So goddamn funny.
It's hilarious, but
amazing.
But the anime is trash, and we know it.
Garbage, but it's so... Oh, my God.
So good.
I'm telling you, Michael, it's a straight-up comedy. It's definitely a fantasy comedy. There's this girl who's a little overweight, who is a huge otaku.
So stupid.
Huge otaku. She's watching her favorite show. Her favorite character dies. She locks herself in her room for days. Doesn't come out.
I think it was like a week or two.
For a day.
A good amount of time. Yeah.
And she's not coming out. Hasn't gone to the bathroom. Hasn't eaten anything. Nothing. Till ultimately, her brother kicks down her door and is like, "Idiot! You have to go to school." And you just see this shape go to walk to the bathroom, look in the mirror. All of a sudden, she's a sexy anime protagonist, but she's still the biggest fucking nerd and a huge otaku. But this was a girl who would see cute boys like talking to each other and just be like,
ship them. Oh my God, ship them.
Now kiss. So now all of those people who like didn't give her the time of the day because she was a little overweight are like, hey, what are you doing? But she's like, no, don't talk to me. Talk to each other.
I want to see you guys together. So she's so
clueless.
Funny. It's my favorite story, even though I hate.
I finished watching the first episode, and I went right back to the beginning, and I watched it again. Not even exaggerating.
And Mark doesn't do that very often.
That's so good. It's a great comedy. It's a great romantic comedy. Highly recommended, but it is very weird Japanese.
It's a very Japanese anime, but it's also hilarious to me because of the fact that even though I don't like how she became skinny and like sexy, I was like, that's kind of dumb. But I love that her personality did not change. Like anytime when the boys do something that's like close to very relationship-like, she's just in the back, like like full on.
The weirdest noises.
I love it.
It's just pure like. Oh my God, they're holding hands.
Yeah, but it's obviously not like anything sexual or anything romantic. It's just like,
what's up, man? How's it going?
like this, and they're like, they're touching, freaking out, and you're just like, oh my God.
It is a trip.
It makes me so happy.
If you get past the weirdness, it's so much
It's just
fun.
a good time. It's just like the series knows what they're about. Like you're like, okay, this is very weird, but you also know that it's hella funny. And I don't know. But anyway, but like that's what I mean is that the fact that we can forgive something like that. Yeah. I can watch a Godzilla animated something and be like, you know what, it's actually not that bad. Yeah.
Like I gave a show 13 episodes before I eventually just fell off. I was like, come on, this will pick up. All right, well, I guess I'm not watching this anymore. Where like upon release on Crunchyroll.com, I would be watching the telecast and be like, okay, and then just next week be like, I'm not watching that anymore. But I gave it a season, even though it kept going. Like I was like, nope. Yeah, whatever.
I mean, especially because it's really hard with animated series because of the fact that sometimes it can either grab you right away and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to watch. Like My Hero grabbed us right away and it was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to watch for the rest of my days. But there's also ones where you're like, okay, the first couple episodes were kind of slow. I'm going to try and stick it out for maybe 2 more or 13 more, depending on who you are. And then you'll eventually go, you know what? They tried. And I can't stick with it. That's how it was for Kill la Kill for me. I went like 13, maybe even more, because there's a lot of episodes of Kill la Kill, and I was just like, okay, now I'm like in 25, and I just feel like I'm lost. Yeah. And so I won't do it.
Some of the fights are really cool, but they're cool. Some of the substance of Kill la Kill is
like the characters for me don't do anything for me. Yeah. You know, because there's nothing to them.
On a dime.
They do a lot, except for what's her face. I like the girl with the little brown bowl haircut.
She's the best.
I like her. That's what I was sticking it for her, but at one point I was just like, I can't do this.
He's like, I'm done.
The finale is great.
I heard, and I'm like, maybe I'll just like skip it. I don't know.
But a similar show like that's out right now is Darling in the Franxx.
Someone told me to watch that.
Yeah, but like the first couple of episodes, as people were reacting to it. Is that the one that
Stacey said?
Yeah, Stacey said it. Issa said it.
Yeah.
A lot of people were just. Like, the first couple episodes, people were like, oh, is this what kind of a world are you establishing? And now we're on, like, episode 15, and people are, like, sobbing, like, oh, my God, this show is ruining me. So it's, like, in a good way.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's kind of like I don't know if I have the type of energy to give to that
to get to episode, like, 16.
That's really far. Like, I can give, like, maybe up to, like, 6.
I think it said it was 9 or 6.
Okay, that's not too bad.
If I remember correctly, like, it wasn't into the double digits yet, but the first couple are just, like... a little bit, but it's necessary to go through that to hit the heights.
Makes sense.
But I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff every season. This was an AX news, but we're getting more of our boys, our ice skating boys, Yuri.
Ooh,
we're getting the movie.
I didn't think that we were gonna love that as much as we did. I was like, I like to watch ice skating. I don't know, because sports anime is hit and miss with me. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm watching. But Yuri on Ice, because of the fact that, again, it's one of those where the characters stood out more than the actual sport itself, which the sport, the ice skating animation is so top shelf. It is so, it's stupid.
No, seriously, they rotoscope it. So they animated over a person ice skating.
Okay,
yeah, so you know that it's professional. Really, it's
it messes with the dimensions a little bit.
I don't care.
Like some people get like really long. Because it's the same person.
Because it's beautiful.
Yeah. Because it's the same guy doing the ice skating for all of the characters.
Yeah.
So it gets a little weird, but it doesn't matter because you're in there and that's the character and you're hearing the inner monologue and all of that. Yeah. I think because instead of something like Haikyuu where it's like a team... Yeah. It's one-on-one.
Yeah, so I feel like you get to... I mean, even though you know it's still a team because of the fact that you have your players and you know exactly who's in what, you know... But yeah, it does make sense because you get more time individually because of the fact that you're following like maybe 2-3 characters, like
per episode.
At least. If not, at least you know who your mains are. With the bigger sports ones, it's hard to follow because there's a lot of them. So you're like, wait, who am I rooting for?
I think that's why there's a new boxing one. I forget what it's called.
Megala something.
Something like that.
Yes.
But I think that and then previously with Hajime no Ippo, like it's one hero.
Oh, good. Yeah.
It's one protagonist.
Which I feel like maybe they're starting to get with that, where they're like, okay, we love our sports animes, but I feel like we need to start doing more like solo characters in a sports anime to branch the world out a little bit more. Because it's hard to follow. Like a swim team, that's like 6 people. Like it's hard for me to follow.
People aren't watching that for the story.
Girl, I know, but at the same time, I try.
I love the story.
I mean, it's just like when you know.
Michael, you know what you should start watching? Free. Start watching Free. See what happens. Come back to us in a couple weeks.
Oh God.
Anyway, trash. But
so, like, if you want to talk about anime trash, that's right there.
Free.
But I will also be like, oh hell yes.
But also the people that watch it go, yeah, and I'm trash too.
Yeah, no, we're like, no, I'm aware.
I don't care.
I'm garbage.
No.
I'm flaming garbage.
When you get through that Weibo stage, then you'll get there. Weibo trash is the worst one. But yeah, so I feel like if you can do that, I feel like you can open your mind to anything that has to do with animation, especially with Godzilla, because I feel like that's nostalgia, but also trying to deal with new animation and then also story. So like,
it's a weird snowman.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
It's levels. It's levels to this.
Yeah.
Levels.
It's onion. You gotta pull back them layers.
Right.
Parfaits may be the best food on the whole damn planet.
I mean, parfaits are delicious.
Parfaits are really good, man. Have you ever had a parfait?
And somebody. Where's the Shrek anime? That's what I want to know.
There was somebody who dressed up as Shrek and was playing Don't Let That song the entire time
All-Star?
he was walking around.
Wow.
Yeah, All-Star. The entire time they were walking around.
Meme Lord.
Wow.
So I mean, anime is great. We talk about it on the show all the time. But I think that's it for us. What do you think, Michael?
I think that's all the news. There's a couple like game stuff, but that's pretty much everything. We had a good time.
Yeah, we did.
I'm glad you guys had
Alexis
a good time.
Is exhausted.
And
We're gonna let her
I'm
take
glad
a
the
nap.
listeners had a good
I
time.
need to go get food.
I need food.
Time for what?
Yeah.
Every week is mystery meat, so you know we gotta. Oh man.
And she's gone.
And she's
turning
quit.
her mic down.
She's finished. But directly across from me at the angle that's more isosceles than any other isosceles, it's my boy MBD.
I'm the tip of the spear of Repetsa. Hi everybody. At Mark B. Donica. That's me. What am I doing? I just did an episode of Joseph Scrimshaw's Obsessed Pro Wrestling Television. You disconnecting stuff, darling?
I think so.
Not. I just did. So if you like me talking about pro wrestling, I just spent a kooky hour and change talking about it with Joseph Scrimshaw. It was great to be podcasting with him again. Inventory full is Mondays for right now. We might be changing that day soon. Rooster Teeth reviews, where we'll probably be talking about this Rooster Teeth news and more. That's Wednesdays on AfterBuzz TV Animation, which is also where you can see all of the stuff that Alexis covered. But she'll talk about that a little bit more herself. That's Mark B. Donica on Twitter. Follow me if you want to holla at me.
And to my left, at the other angle of the isosceles triangle, Alexis Torres, what's up?
Hey. So you guys can find me all over social media at atorres890. Stuff that I'm doing. If you didn't get to catch Starter Kit, they just ended this week actually. So definitely check it out on Project Alpha for Phoenix Down Command. It was awesome. You should definitely check it out. It was a great time, and my character survived. I didn't die once. Woo-hoo. So hey, that was great. Definitely check out all of our coverage. There should be an ABTV anime playlist on the AfterBuzz TV Animation channel. It has everything that we covered. We covered everything live, so everything that we did, there's mistakes, which there were plenty of them. They're definitely in there. You will see them. But it was a really good time. I also want to thank all the people who I did meet at Anime Expo who complimented me on my Android 18 cosplay. I really appreciated that.
That was fly as hell.
Thank you.
Oh, I gotta see that. I didn't see a picture of that.
I didn't really post much because I felt bad because I didn't have my contacts in, so I felt like I looked like a normal person with blonde hair. But I really appreciate everyone who complimented and took pictures with me and things like that. So if you do that, tag me. Also, all the great booths that we got to meet. Definitely we'll be doing a lot of unboxings since we got a few Japan crates that we'll be unboxing as well. I'll save you some snacks. Yeah. Definitely catch. I know Mark won't be there on Monday, but definitely catch our season finale of Voltron recap. We should be having AJ, who plays Lotor, and Kimberly, who plays Allura, on the show. Maybe Bex might be there, question mark. She said she might just show up.
Yeah, she's a dork who likes hanging out. So.
Yeah, so she will definitely try to be there. If not, you'll see her later. I know she did a bunch of stuff with Katie. Katie did a bunch of Rooster Teeth interviews, so definitely check that out as well. Yeah, so definitely check out all that kind of stuff. Winona Earp starts up soon. I hopefully will be able to guest on that panel a few times. If you don't know why Winona Earp is, you need to watch that show. It's supernatural but with females. It's fantastic. But anyway, thanks guys so much, and keep it awesome. Yeah.
All right, well, guys, I'm NERDSoul, one word, NERDSoul. Search me on Google, YouTube, all that good stuff. Make sure you continue to either subscribe on YouTube or rate us 5 stars on that iTunes, because it's mad important. But before we bounce, this is from us to you saying thank you for listening and
Peace.